Tell me, what is your favorite part of living in the US? What is it that you like the most?
What is it I like the most?
Yeah.
My family.
Okay.
Like, I never had that. Like, my family in Mexico was just a sister, really. Like, because I was looking out for my sister, and my sister would do the same for me. So having this family is like a security, like a very comfortable space for me that I never had before. So by far, I think it's just my beautiful family.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Expat Coffee Break. Today we have part 2 of the conversation with my friend Oscar. In the previous episode, we talked a little bit of his story. He shared his story about what it was like, his life back in Mexico. He also talked about his beginnings in the United States, how he felt, and what was his first work and things of that nature. It was a very interesting conversation with a lot of deep feelings in the conversation. And today we're sharing the second part of this conversation, which actually, believe it or not, gets even deeper. We start talking about family, we talk about other challenges, some of the racism problems we talked before as well, and many more things about education and hard work. I really hope that you enjoy this project of mine. I will really appreciate if you give me a follow in one of my social medias. Look me up on Facebook under Javier Salomon. I have a page over there, or look me up on Instagram with Javier Salomon as well. I will be sharing those links in the show notes. And with that, I'll leave you to the second part of this interview. Enjoy. For people to make money.
Yes, I mean, yeah. Like people like me, the way how we came here to the U.S. Is no other choice. You want to make the best. I mean, you are here to do better for yourself, and then to make money, to live a better life, like whatever that means. You're gonna have to go to work, and make that happen for your family. We're not here to waste time,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a job, and it's a pretty good job. They pay. It's a good paying job, but I'm in this mood where sometimes I feel a little like I'm missing out on some opportunities by not doing something else. Because when I talk to some other immigrants, other Mexicans, they're like, "I do this, I do that," and they never tell me how much they make, but I can tell that they're working hard to improve or build something for the future. Like I have another friend, Agustin. You met him. I call him my boss,
right?
Because I help him around sometimes in his landscaping business.
Right. Yeah,
and when I talk to him, he's like, he has 3 other jobs besides his own business. And he had to quit one job because he was getting more business now that he had to do more landscaping in the summer. But then he quit all of their jobs. Another one. And he just kept one because that other job was the same as the landscaping. And he was learning from that company, and then he was applying that in his own business.
There you go.
But it's such a mindset. When I was talking to him, he was working in the kitchen just like you before. And he told me that he just felt so free by working outside and learning from those guys and then working on his own business. It's something really, really interesting. But he was always working 7 days a week, all day, no break.
Yeah. I remember I used to work 80 hours a week. 80 hours a week. I was doing 2 full-time jobs for the first maybe 10 years.
10 years, 80 hours a
full-time
week.
jobs.
And that was in the kitchen?
Yes, all kitchen. I remember coming in like at 6 o'clock in the morning, open the Burger King or McDonald's, and then by 4:30, I was in the other job.
Wow.
17, another Burger King,
Wow.
another McDonald's.
Did you eat around? Did you eat the restaurant or?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's so funny because I remember eating all these fries and burgers, but I'm always being like a very skinny guy. I never got fat or anything like that, and I was just, and it was another way for me to actually save money because because I get like free meals from these restaurants.
So you were eating fast food burgers every day.
Every day. Like, and I remember just on the weekends, like sometimes if I got like Sunday off or Saturday off, I just go to a nice restaurant, and eat.
How often will you do that?
When I was single, I want to say, almost every weekend actually, because I was single. It was just me. It was a time and I was just working weekdays, 80 hours, and then Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, all my friends, we will be ready to go out dancing, nightclub, salsa music.
Okay, so you were having fun as well.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. And I remember making like, I remember my paychecks were like almost $1,000 every 2 weeks, and I got two of them. So it was
$2,000
every 2 weeks. I remember living with someone else in an apartment. So we were 3 people living in 1-bedroom apartment. The rent was like maybe $200 plus,
a person,
plus electricity bills and water, maybe $250 a month.
Were you able to save money, or what you were doing?
So, well, when I came to the U.S. the first couple years, I was just send money to my family. I was just feeling guilty. I want to help.
Okay.
And then me, like, I thought, like, well, if they have a little bit of money, maybe they don't need to worry about
all of the issues they're dealing with.
Right. But I guess, I had to find out the hard way. Money is not gonna change their mindset. It's just a hard thing to, like, for me personally, like, I trying to do it with my family, trying to send money and send a lot of things. But it's just like they don't have the knowledge, the imagination to do something else. Like, maybe, okay, so I'm thinking like, well, Oscar send me money, maybe I can use this money to make more money. But I think that's a problem. Like, it's just something that my family been struggling. Like, my money is not gonna change their mindset. No matter how much money I send, they will be just for like 3-4 days. They're comfortable, and then money is gone, and then now they had to start all over again.
Yeah, I think I understand what you mean. The way I see it is, you cannot help someone that doesn't want to be helped.
Yes.
And I mean, not disrespect to your family, but if they might not know what they're going through is not normal,
right?
And they just don't know how to break the vicious cycle.
Yes,
because it's so hard. That I think about those kind of things even when I was in Mexico, because I used to. I mean, I don't come from money. My family neither. Even they had a lower economical situation when they were children, but they were able to pull themselves through. And well, all of my brothers had an education, And for them, it was a big deal because they were breaking that cycle. My dad was the first one that broke the cycle in his family. He was the first one to get an education because he wanted. Because all my grandpa he was a commerciant. He was selling chickens and vegetables and whatever he could find. I mean, there are some stories of when he was a young man, he was 20s, he would steal cows and donkeys and kill them and sell them in the market. So that's how he started. My granddad was he was a criminal somehow, right. But he made up a business out of buying and selling chickens. That was his main business. And so all of my uncles, all of my aunts had the opportunity to do something. Because my granddad supported them. I'm doing air quotes again, people, because his way of supporting is I'm going to give you money and you do whatever you want to do, but that's all I'm going to give you.
Right.
And doesn't mean he was giving them enough money, just giving them permission to go and study.
Right.
Instead of working them all the time.
Yeah.
So my dad and my mom for them it was very important to say, no, you guys are going to go to school. And if you don't like that, here's what you're going to do. And my dad will take me to work because he's got a construction company.
Okay.
And they will have to dig trenches to borrow electrical lines for the house or pipes for water. And so that was working in the sun back home in Sinaloa. And you think hot. The 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Minnesota is hot. Sinaloa is like 120 and it's even more humid.
Right.
So I was doing that and my dad was like, órale cabrón, if you don't like this, if you don't like studying, this is what you're going to have to do for a living. And I was thinking, okay, I better put my shit together and do something out of my life. But the reason I mention all of this is because I lived through something that I never thought we were. I guess very few times I felt that my family didn't have money because even though my dad has his company, it comes with ups and downs, and we didn't always have the money to buy things we wanted, especially in Christmas. Because sometimes we had money for Christmas and we will all get presents, and other times we got like from the tianguis,
right?
Like the cheapest stuff, and which isn't bad things, but like 50 pesos presents for one for each, and that's it. There's nothing else. And then my dad will tell me if things get better, then we might be able to buy other stuff. But now that's all. And so I never felt like I didn't have money until I met other people, other friends. I hang out with other kids, and then I realized that their families were doctors. Their families were they had jobs, and they had the newest game console, the newest Game Boy, and I didn't have any of that. And I was thinking, well, they must have money and I don't. And I started feeling, okay, so I didn't feel bad about my situation because I didn't really know. And I had everything I needed and both my parents. But I do remember thinking, I'm going to do something and I'm going to get. I mean, back then, my way of thinking is I'm going to make money no matter what.
Right.
And it's when you're a teenager, making money, it's like the only thing you can think of.
Right.
Now that I'm older, it's like that's a very vague goal because money, how much money you want to make.
Right.
How much effort you want to put into make money and how much money you really want. Right. You want $100,000? You want $1 million? How much you want? Because you can get all the money in the world, like these guys, these super rich guys, and you might not be happy still.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. Money don't buy happiness, and that's a real thing. Money can get you a lot of things, but that's true. There's a lot of people who have a lot of money and they're still not happy. I mean, you can see it with the guy, this Jeff Bezos. He just got divorced. I mean, he has all the money you can think
still
of,
dealing through shit. I
mean,
dealing through issues. Right. And coming back to the topic, why I think breaking the vicious cycle is so important, but also so difficult. I like to think about how we can fix that, because in Mexico there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of people are very smart. People find ways to make month end
right
by selling food on the street or selling loose cigarettes in the street or gum when they're in the traffic jams. But why some people do that and some people don't? Why some people get out of that cycle and why some people don't? So I'm always starting to think, and I come to a similar conclusion like you mentioned about if I give them money, it's not going to help them any. Which is why a lot of organizations that just give money to people, they're not changing anything.
Right.
And it's the conclusion that I had at the end is you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped, because you can give them the help, you can give them the support, you can give them the money and the tools. But if they don't want to, if they're actually comfortable where they are, they're just going to take that and use it up and not think about tomorrow. And that's a very hard thing to change if the person doesn't want to change, if the person is not conscious of that situation, that they can somehow do better, but only if they want to.
Right.
And it's very difficult because, let's face it, when you're in a situation like that, you're thinking of how to survive. Right. You're thinking, it's not really your fault. It's not really, I'm not saying people that are poor are lazy and they don't want to change themselves. They don't want to meditate and they don't want to eat healthy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not like that. I'm not a guru or anything. That's not where I'm going. But it's not their fault because they don't know. They don't know what they're going through. They might not even realize that that's something they can change. But their problem, it's right now, their biggest problem is find a way to feed their family. They're not going to worry about being nice to their neighbor. They're not going to worry about transcending their existence by writing a book. Like, that's not their problem. Their problem is getting food, surviving.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so difficult to break that cycle. But it's also why we like to celebrate when somebody does, because we all know how difficult it is. And one of the reasons why I really appreciate you sharing your story, because to me, you're one of those examples of somebody that thought, even though you might not have said it that way, you thought and you felt like you could do better and you wanted to do better, and you did whatever you had to do to get to where you are now.
Yeah. No, I told you this before. Iris and you, Javier, the first time I met you guys, it was just amazing for me. It was an opening eyes for me. Like, I was feeling hope. I never got the opportunity to meet people like you and your wife. And I was so happy. Like, I was very excited. I remember I went to my wife and started talking to my wife about Iris and you, and then she's like, wow, that's the kind of people you need to be friends with you so you can grow, you can learn from. And then I'm just happy. You guys made me want to do more, actually. I'm very comfortable where I am right now. I'm very lucky. I don't know if the word is lucky. I think I did my part and all this to make it to where you are. Where I have right now. We are very fortunate, very comfortable. But I'm always gonna do something. Like, I cannot stay home and not doing anything. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else. It's just how I am. I don't know if that changed when I came to the US, or maybe I was in Mexico already and I had that mindset. I don't know. I guess I'm just very happy then I moved here.
Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that. And trust me, the feeling is mutual. Because when I met you, I thought, holy crap, I got to do more. Because you're so hard worker. When you do something, you're doing that. When I was helping you move, I was looking you move around boxes and things like, and never taking a break until you've had to finish unloading that truck. It wasn't like, oh, let's take a break and let's take a sip of beer. Like focus 100%. Let's do it. Let's move on. Okay, go. And I was like, okay. I was trying to do my best to keep up.
Yeah.
Now,
thank you.
I like to we talk about a lot of problems, and a lot of your background, which I appreciate. But I want to talk about something a little bit more brighter.
Okay.
Why don't you tell me what is your favorite part of living in the U.S.? What is it that you like the most?
What is it I like the most?
Yeah.
My family.
Okay.
Like, I never had that. Like, my family in Mexico was just my sister, really. Like, because I was looking out for my sister, and my sister would do the same for me. So having this family is like a security, like a very comfortable space for me that I never had before. So by far, I think it's just my beautiful family.
Well, that's good. But that is your wife from the U.S.?
No, actually,
you met her
my
in the
wife
US.
is from Kenya.
Okay.
She's from Africa. It's so funny. Like, sometimes I just feel like I got super lucky. Like, I don't know what I did. I'm still till like right now. I'm still trying to figure it out. What I did to find this amazing woman. It's just she's a very smart person. Like, she's very kind. She actually pulled me up, like, to want to do better every day. Yeah, I just I'm super lucky. I just I love my wife. I love my family. It's just a feeling that I didn't have until I came to the U.S. Like, feeling the like what a family really is.
Right.
It's weird because when my kids, like, growing up right now, actually, like, back then, I used to get mad watching my kids smiling all the time, running around all the time. I thought, like, it was just too much for me because I never really did that. I never really had the time to enjoy being a kid because I'm always had to be doing something, like washing the dishes, doing chores for my grandma, just cleaning all the time, going to school.
Had to grow up fast.
I grew up super fast, so me watching my kids running around and smiling too much, I thought, like, oh, this is not right.
Why not?
But and then I actually had to go to therapy.
Because you were, let me stop you there. Were you by any chance feeling like it was too good to be true? Was it like that?
Trust me, until, like, sometimes I woke up in the morning and then
you don't believe it?
I mean, I'm just blessed. I woke up in the morning, just look around. I see my kids. I see my wife. She's wonderful. Like, I used to have this issue. Like, I'm always was waiting for something bad to happen. It was just like a normal thing for me. Like, I always keep waiting for something bad to happen because I grew up like that. It was always something bad. Like, I don't do something right, and I get consequences. So sometimes, trust me, sometimes I woke up in the morning and I'm like, no, I think this is
everything
normal.
is fine.
This is normal. We are comfortable. Nothing bad is gonna happen. Yeah.
Wow. And considering all of that, what advice would you give to younger immigrants or think of it as a younger Oscar. If you will have the chance to travel back in time and meet with your 19-year-old Oscar, or maybe 18-year-old, or as young as you want, what advice would you give that to him?
I wish I can stay in school. I guess for me, if you got the opportunity, you had to do it. I think it's like school is more like a insurance thing. If you can do anything else, at least you got this. At least you have this knowledge and going to school and be a professional. I'm not saying like school is gonna give you what you need. Or you got a lot of examples of people not finishing college and there are millionaires. But I think it's important to actually get something, and I think school is a safe way. Like if you dreams don't come true, like because you want to be a professional soccer player, or at least you got
some sort of safety net. That doesn't work.
Exactly. So yeah, for me, I think I just stay in school all the time. Although I don't know if I stay in school, I don't think I will never come here to the US.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't tell him that because that will change your whole life.
Right. I guess
But is that a good advice? For a younger person in Mexico that might want to be thinking about immigrating to the U.S. or in some other country, immigrating anywhere. That's what you will tell them?
I don't think so. See, like the perspective I had when I was in Mexico, I'm gonna come to the U.S. and I'm gonna make money. Yeah, that's true. You do make money, but you do have to pay too. You have to sustain your life here. Like you have to pay your bills. So yes, you do make money, but you're gonna spend money. Like,
so you're recommending against immigrating?
Yes.
So moving to the U.S. is not the solution all the time.
It's not the solution. Like, except if you are someone like Javier, then you came here because you go to school there, and then this company actually wants to bring you here. Then you're not gonna be like your average immigrant who is just gonna make under $40,000 right now. They're just it's gonna be good to live paycheck by paycheck, unfortunately, because you don't have any degree or any good job. Like, you're probably gonna be making $20 an hour if you're lucky, working very hard outside in the heat.
Yeah.
So no, I would not recommend that, because, and like I say, I'm super lucky. I used to think like, I'm good. I made it. I came to the US. I was making $4,000 a month. I'm like, well, I was single too, so I got this extra money. But no, I was the truth is, and I was just living paycheck by paycheck.
Because you were not putting anything away.
No.
You were sending to your family, and then the rest you were spending it.
Yeah.
So, in summary, you don't advise young people to move to the U.S. just because they think they're going to make it here.
No, this 41-year-old Oscar, it took me 22 years. It's a very, very long time.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of time, and then in that process, I got lucky. My wife has a very, very good job. She make a very, very good money, like, to the point that we don't qualify for anything, for this stimulus check,
for any social assistance,
nothing like that. And then
but that wasn't always the case. That's both of you had to work really hard to get where you are right now.
Right.
But let's leave let's leave that part of the story for another episode, because then we can talk a lot about after you met your wife and what you guys had to go through in the past 10 years to get where you guys are.
Right.
But right now, I wanna finish that thought and about giving some advice to potential other immigrants that might be listening to us, looking for advice. Because that's the purpose of this podcast. I want to be able to provide information to other people that might be thinking about immigrating, and talk about the things that people they just don't openly talk about it. You might not at least read about it at somewhere, and if you do, you might not know if it's something you can trust. But what I'm doing here is I'm interviewing friends that I met that I know have amazing stories, and in this I really appreciate you giving that advice, because I also used to have that perspective living back in Mexico, that you're living in Mexico, and if you move to the US, you're going to be making so much more money than how much you make, and you're going to be fine. Yeah. But you don't take into consideration the fact that living in the US is also more expensive,
it's very expensive,
and that you're going to be struggling to get into the jobs that pay well. And you're likely going to have to put a lot more effort than what you were doing in Mexico. And so you're basically saying don't come, stay in school, and work hard over there as well.
Yeah, if you're thinking moving to the US, just go to school, get a company to sponsor you, and that way you are going to be living the American dream. If you because you're going to be making more money, you're not going to just make.
Well, the American dream is available, because I can tell you, it's not. You don't make it just like that. It's been here for 3 years, and I'm still looking for the American dream.
Well, and yeah, I mean, just imagine someone like you, mm-hmm, coming with a visa, with absolutely come and work for this company.
Yeah,
making more money is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just. Yeah, I mean, if you want to come to the US, is do like my friend did.
It is hard. It is hard.
Go to school, get a company, come the right way, because otherwise you're gonna come and you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna working harder, even harder than if you work in Mexico, because you have to spend money here too.
Yeah, I think that's a misconception that most of us in Mexico have, because when I still talk to my friends, they had this perception that because I'm living here, I'm making so much money as an engineer, that because I can afford to buy things like the new iPhone or things like that, right, they're like, oh, you must be rich now. Right. And when I go to Mexico, that's when, especially when I see it, because let's say we go to dinner and I say, oh, I'll pay. Because I do that here in the US and I do that in Mexico, and even before moving to the US, because sideline here, just a parenthesis, when I invite you to dinner, I'm paying because I invited you. Right. So I that's what I usually do. So I invite friends that I haven't seen in a while in Mexico. Go to dinner, and so I take the bill. I pay for it. And they're like, oh, yes, Mr. American, Mr. Gringo has money, so he's paying. Oh, let me see how much tip you're giving. Oh, 20%, right. You must be rich. Because in Mexico, 10% is the norm.
Oh, really?
So I'm used to give 20% now in the US if I like the service. 15, it's the normal here. Right. But back there is 10. So that when they see I did 20, they're like, oh, Mr. Rich. And I think, oh, okay, you don't have no idea.
It's hard.
Because it is hard. The only thing you're doing is just changing the soil you're standing. Yeah. But I mean, there's so many different things in the way that both countries are run, that because of the way the US is structured, it is a little bit easier for you to make money by having two jobs, or having a job and a side business, or starting up a business, or just making money out of being hired by the hour with somebody else. Right. There's a lot of opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Labor is expensive. Labor is paid, and and if you have the skills, you're gonna get paid. But nobody tells you when you're in Mexico that,
Of course not.
yeah, dude, you're gonna work your face off if you really want to make it.
Yeah.
Nobody tells you how hard it is. I mean, I get to experience some of it because of my friend that he calls me sometimes and asks me to help him with the landscaping stuff.
Okay.
I say, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a little bit of extra money for me,
Right.
and I'm helping him to build his business. And I get to work with other people that have their own jobs. They either work in kitchen or landscaping
Right.
or roofing. And then
They're doing
in
that
their
just
day
the
off,
same.
they're helping him.
Right.
And so we're all interacting, and I'm learning about their stories and what they do. And I'm surprised by the work ethic of some of those guys.
It's a lot of work, dude. Yeah.
Because one guy, he was showing up, and he's like, yeah, I just came out of the night shift at the restaurant. And I was, wow. And that day we had to move a lot of mulch, you know, the ground,
Right.
the ground with wood
Right.
chipped. We had to move it by shoveling it into wheelbarrows and then moving it from one point to another point.
Right.
And it was a big property next to a golf course.
Okay.
It was a big house. It was a rich lady. Again, misconception, because
Right.
all I saw was a big house,
Big house.
and she must have money. I don't know. But anyways, we spent from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. shoveling dirt and moving it from one place to another. And that guy was basically, he just pulled a night shift, and he
Right.
was working with me over there, and he was kicking ass. I was dying, by the way. I'm not used to work outside, and I was dying. But those guys are hard workers.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time keeping up, and I'm the one that should be rested. They're the ones that should be tired because I've been working all week. Nope, it was the other way around.
Right. I mean, I think it's just like you see like how like people really want to do something here. You know, like it's hard. It's hard. Don't get that perspective like, you know, when you're in Mexico or any other country and you hear about the U.S. like, oh, you know, it's a lot of opportunity there. I can make money, and it's hard. You do make money too, but you do have to pay it. Spend that money here too.
You have to pay very expensive rent, and the food is always expensive.
Very expensive.
Unless you want to eat crap, and that is cheap.
Fast food.
But then your health is in the line.
Bad, horrible, yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yes.
All right, well, that wraps up for today's episode. Thank you very much, Oscar, for sharing your stories with us. I hope that our listeners get some good advice from what we just talked about. And thank you very much for listening to Expat Coffee Break. I will be sharing some show notes about where you can reach me out for feedback, or if you are also interested in sharing your story with the Expat Coffee Break show, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about how to do that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you many times. Goodbye.